Let's see. That's good. Oh, let's do shoot. Just gotta get here. And then Discord. I wish the Discord thing automatically worked, but I guess I don't mind putting in the manual stuff. This. And then.
Have you seen any of the Game of Thrones stuff?
Not yet. Oh my gosh, we should.
No.
Do you have access to the Game of Thrones show, the new one?
Yeah, I'll have access. It's just I just haven't I haven't seen the first show.
You don't have to. You don't have to at all.
Right.
This is a prequel,
Okay.
so. But if you want to add that to the list, we definitely can cover that stuff. Because that's super popular right now. So if we want to add that, I think that'd be cool. I do want to see it though. Oh, I love Game of Thrones, anyways. I thought it was great. All right, give me a couple seconds to go do the usual before we start. But we're live.
Yeah, cool.
All right. So what else is new? How was your week?
I mean, I've been mainly focusing on the dieting aspect.
Oh, and you lost 5 pounds.
6 now.
Oh, there you go. That's good. Good for you, dude.
Yeah. I'm getting the ball rolling, is it?
Yep.
And so I'm feeling really good about it.
Good. So you're doing a higher protein.
Yeah.
What
high protein, less carbs.
So what carbs have you cut out?
Basically like potatoes, pasta, rice, that kind of stuff.
Yep. All right. All the good stuff.
Bread.
Yeah. Bread. Pasta, rice. Yeah, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
But that's all good stuff you can enjoy in moderation, but like for people like me, I can't have a moderate amount of rice or pasta, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm under a big milestone now. So
good.
So I'm happy about that. Just gotta keep it that way.
Yes. Hey, oh yeah, there's my my Sea of Thieves t-shirt that
That's a cool t-shirt.
That is. Now, since I woke up late and it was super busy, I didn't get to shower this morning, so I will do it tomorrow. Or tomorrow. I'll do it after our podcast. So. How's Mumsy?
She's doing great. Yeah. Yeah. She's A-okay.
A-okay.
What else to say?
I don't know. We got King Silver Wolf in the house. We got Troy's local bike rides. Mr. Big Casino Ching Ching. And Troy's like, if you're meant to be muted, you're not. For the podcast, we usually just keep it all live here. So I got the little plywood right here, so I can put the drywall up. But what a freaking nightmare, man, it is. Because at the top, there's a bar that goes across, and I'm like, this is stupid. Yeah. So, and then I'll put, but I want to do it. I want to get it done. I'm just kind of lazy to do it.
Because you said you don't like that wall, do you?
I hate this wall. No, it's like it's an actual real top of the line wood. Because that's when when they built the house back then, that they used wood paneling, but it's just yucky.
Oh, I quite like the look of it.
Oh, I can't stand it. It's just old. It looks old. It looks nasty, and it's like you can see a panel's indented, and then this one's extended out, indented, extended out. Yeah, and so you're kind of selective on what you can put where and all of that stuff.
Right, yeah, that would mildly annoy me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just in case your private thing you're talking about. No, Troy, we are good, dude. A to Z of gaming. It's the A to Z of Elgato. A to Z Gaz. Maestro, what's up, buddy? New House of Dragons episode today. We're gonna start covering that, Maestro. We're gonna start covering it. I should be able to get it without paying for Crave. Should be. Wink, wink. I have my words.
And there's the Elgato of gaming.
There is the Elgato of gaming. Giggity gas. Yesterday's stream was so amazing, man. I did like 7.5 hours. We met a bunch of new dudes. One guy joined in. I think we were stream sniped by these guys or a couple guys, but we got so much gold, so much awesomeness in Sea of Thieves yesterday. It was good. It was a wonderful, wonderful day yesterday. Awesome. Yeah.
And so I reckon you're not far off from the...
No, I'm 2 away on Order of Souls.
Okay.
And so if now I shouldn't play it tomorrow, as I have tons of work to do. But if I do some today and do some tonight, hopefully, I should have it by tomorrow. But for by stream, if not, I'll have it by tomorrow. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, Sea of Thieves, Pirate Legend, learning the game. And we met this new guy. We did an alliance, so he started chasing us, and he had like TTV in his name. And so Caleb went and looked, and the guy was live. So I went on his stream. I was like, "Please, sir, leave us alone. Like, don't hurt us or anything like that." And we got chatting back and forth. So we allianced and did one of the things, and it was really cool. He seemed to be a good dude.
Cool.
Yeah. What was it? The COG, I think his name is, like and then COG. But he seemed cool. What do we got? Should I mention I'm not a Star Wars fan? Gaz, get out of here, Gaz. You stop that. A to Z of Elgato.
Well, he's not a Lord of the Rings fan. He's not a fan of cheese. He's not a fan of...
Oh my gosh, we won't bring up the cheese. All right, episode 3. You ready? No, Star Wars fan, hand your geek card over. Meister, I agree. Here we go, guys. You ready? It's episode 3. We're ready to rock and roll. Hey, welcome to episode 3 of... Well, for now, it's still the PCU podcast of Pharaoh Cinematic Universe. And honestly, it was... that guy's idea who came up with it. It was Lee. And so we're ready to rock and roll and just chat about today. With all honesty, doing the movie podcast is really fun. We like chatting about games, and we love chatting about movies. The problem is, I just love to talk in general. So when we go through movie news, I will interrupt Lee constantly just to chat about it, to share my excitement, and that's just the way it is. So we are going to have a good time. So Lee, how you doing today? Happy Sunday. Happy October 28th. We're just about into September, which is awesome. Whoa. And you know what? Lee was just so sick and tired of chatting with me that he didn't want to chat with me. Oh, he's back. Hey!
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
That's okay, dude. You're here. How are you doing, dude? How's things going?
I'm doing great, thanks. I'll try not to do that again.
You can do whatever you like. It's all right.
And yeah, I'm doing excellent. I feel like I watched a lot of different stuff this week.
Oh, like what?
I watched the new Fantastic Beasts film. Okay. I know that you haven't seen any of them.
I've seen the first one. Wait a minute. First one. Who's the second one with?
The second one was the one with Johnny Depp.
I seen the first two then. Yeah, they were just like. Did you like them?
The first one I think was solid. Second one mixed. But I think Johnny Depp was fine in that, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And this one was terrible.
Oh, what's his name? Mads Mikkelsen or something?
Mads Mikkelsen.
Who's an excellent actor.
Oh, yes.
When he played Hannibal Lecter in that TV show, I watched every episode of that. That was crazy. Because he ate people, and that was his thing. So.
Well, it's like the film was bad, but it wasn't his fault. Like, I just think it's like they spent 80% of the film not doing anything, and then like they could have literally made like a 45-minute episode.
Yeah.
And then that could have been the whole plot, as opposed to over a 2-hour film, and they didn't go anywhere. And they're still going to make 2 more of these.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're going to make 2 more of these. When really, if they just tweaked a few things, this could have been a nice finisher to a trilogy, and that's it.
So here's a question. Now that Johnny Depp has been revived and they realized that, oops, we probably shouldn't have taken this lunatic's word for it, that he was such a terrible guy. Does he come back and replace Mads?
Well, I think like whether that... to be honest, I'm not sure. Like, because the thing is that they've managed to make it so that throughout every of the Fantastic Beasts film, it's a different actor playing the character. So they may keep up that trend, or they may change him back. Like, honestly, that's not, that I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
The thing that sort of like springs to mind when I was watching it was one of the main characters in the Fantastic Beasts sort of saga, I guess.
Yep.
Is played by Ezra Miller, and now he's getting.
He's a lunatic. Yep.
Yes. So it's like, are they going to have to change him now?
Yes.
It's like, that kind of stuff, because he's a moron.
Well, does he get redemption? Does he deserve redemption?
It's they implied it in this film.
I'm talking about Ezra Miller, the actor.
Oh, Ezra Miller.
Does he get it? Does he deserve redemption in the movies? Like, is he going to has he ruined his career and really any big movies to pick him up, or does he have to start at the bottom again and go up?
Well, I'm not sure, really.
I don't know.
I mean, like it's really affected the Flash stuff.
Yes. Yeah. With all honesty, I couldn't care less about the dude anyways in his movie as the Flash. I didn't care. There's a couple funny parts in the Justice League. Was it Justice League movie? But whatever. I think the downfall for that was they should have used the dude from television who already established himself as the Flash. They should have done that, but they didn't. So whatever.
I think like it's sort of it'll be hard to translate that without like all the references in his world.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Oh, what else do you watch?
It was the end of Better Call Saul. That was cool.
Excellent.
It's not as good as Breaking Bad, but it's generally a good show. So I enjoyed all that. But I wouldn't want to spoil it in case people haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, okay. All right. Nice. All right.
And what
Anything
about you?
else? You know
No,
what? I've played tons of video games is what I did.
what
My
you play video games?
Yes, like video games. I've played a lot of Sea of Thieves. A lot of Sea of Thieves. Was playing. I played a couple other games, but as for television watching, for personal stuff, I don't think there was any. Steph and I watched a couple of shows on Netflix, more thrillers, and they were pretty freaking good. I should be recording these names so I can talk about it, but it was so good. Some really really good thriller. I like the darker, scarier sort of messed up stuff, and Steph does not, but she does like a good thriller. I think it kind of excites her a little bit, but she'd rather not watch anything too scary where just make it all nasty and gross for me. So we'll figure it all out. Honestly, I hope Johnny Depp changes. Johnny Depp will change his mind. I'm just saying about Disney and Star Wars and Pirates of the Caribbean. Johnny Depp will change his mind because money talks. And the amount of money he will get for his next movies with Disney and stuff will be like, oh, apology accepted. That's exactly what it's going to be. He won't get some lowball budget. It'll be like, oh, Johnny Depp, we need you back. Here is ching ching, and it's going to be wild. So that was me, dude. That was me in a week. In the evening, Steph and I watch shows. And September is right around the corner. So all of our good shows, like Law and Order, Chicago PD, all of the stuff we usually watch because we love that stuff. I'm a huge Law and Order fan. That's starting back up here in a few weeks. So that's what I will be consumed with as well in the evenings.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into some movie news. Before we switch, let me know if you guys do like the whole new design we got going on here. I want to make it a little more interactive. So when we're on, like, say, movie news, or we go down to the movie, the Beast movie, it'll highlight me more. I'll figure all of that out. I just did all this morning. And so, yeah. I don't like the black bars on the top.
So far.
Yeah, no, thank you. I don't like the black bars at the top and bottom. I need to figure out a different sort of setup, but we'll go from there anyways. Pretty sure on Discord you can do different layouts, but I don't know how to do it. And so, yeah, I love Chicago PD. Oh, so do I. But how would you feel about him in Star Wars? I would totally feel great about Johnny Depp in Star Wars. As long as he's not like a moron character, kind of like he is. When I say moron character, I refer to like, who is it in the Pirates of the Caribbean? What's his name?
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow. So when he's doing like, and all like drunk sort of nonsense, I don't want that in Star Wars. We don't need that in Star Wars. But if he's going to play a bounty hunter, I would love to see Johnny Depp in a hardcore, really weird character. That's Johnny Depp in a nutshell. He plays weird characters, but I want to see him an intense. If he's going to play a bounty hunter, an intense, let's get it sort of weird character, which I think would be fantastic. They would be awesome. So I'm down with it. So let's jump in. Lee, what do we got for movie?
That's a bit of a chameleon.
Yes. Okay. I think he's underappreciated. We'll say in his movie repertoire. If you go back to like Edward Scissorhands, and all the way up to Jack Sparrow or whatever, you look at this guy's movies and you're like, I don't know if there's anybody that has been so unique or chameleon-esque in his entire career.
Yeah, he's got a big variety, like in terms of
let's
appearances at least.
Let's take what's the motorcycle show that was super popular? Has Charlie Hunnam as the lead as Jax in Sons of Anarchy. So you got I know we're way off topic. So you got Charlie Hunnam who played Jax. He was an amazing bike gang leader. Then you pick him up and you put Charlie Hunnam in his ancient medieval swords and shields movie that he did. And you've got Jax as a king or a knight or whatever, and then you take Charlie Hunnam and you throw him in his other movie, and you've got Jax as that character. So he's not versatile. But when you look at Johnny Depp, it's just like, dang, this dude. Whether you like his movies or not, you can't look at him and say that movie or that acting was terrible. It's just no. He played his part brilliant. He brought something crazy and unique, and nothing like any of his other characters. And I'm not even a Johnny Depp fan. Okay, so I'm recognizing his greatness. That's it.
Yeah, taking note of his excellence.
Taking note of his excellence. Yes, sir.
But yeah, it's like you can't really say that you have the same person from Edward Scissorhands and have him like be Willy Wonka,
right?
In charge of a chocolate factory.
Yeah, but even look at his Jack Sparrow character. Like,
absolutely.
You can't say, "Oh, I see a little hint of that guy in this person." No. And I've not seen tons of Johnny Depp movies, but I've seen the big ones, and I'm just like, whether you like him or not. Like Edward Scissorhands, I remember as a kid, I didn't really like it. But I know it's huge, it's popular, and it's a cult classic. So, all right, Lee, let's go, buddy. What do we got for movie news?
In terms of movie news, I mean, it's really centered around like the Marvel and Star Wars aspect. So we got the She-Hulk that we're going to end up talking about.
Yeah.
Like that's had like mixed reviews in a sense.
Okay.
But there's been like, because I think it was the same thing with Ms. Marvel. I think people are review bombing it, which sucks.
I assume it's because they're female.
Yeah, perhaps.
People suck, dude. Bottom line, people suck.
Yeah.
All right, I honestly cannot wait to talk about She-Hulk, and we'll have a good time.
Yeah. But that seems to be like the situation with that, which not great as it stands. In terms of Star Wars, John Boyega who played Finn in the sequel trilogy, has basically said that he doesn't want to come back.
Okay, hold on. So, all right, he played Finn. He doesn't want to come back to what? A Star Wars?
Like, well, yeah, he doesn't want to deal with Star Wars anymore. Like, he's done with it.
All right, so he complained a lot after his movies. Was any of his complaints legit? Hey, Catrix. Was any of his complaints legit, or was it just like, wah, because everybody hated the newest trilogy?
I mean, like, I guess it's like personal preference in terms of whether they seem legit to you, like, because of what you liked and what you didn't like about the sequel trilogy. I mean, for me, I thought he was great in The Force Awakens and completely wasted in the two films after.
He was awesome in Force Awakens, you're right. I thought he was a really cool character.
Yeah, but like it's just they had a whole story arc for him in The Force Awakens, but his arc was completed in The Force Awakens. He had nothing to do for the other two films, so he was just really wasted.
Yep.
And it's like, and I think at the time John Boyega was like an upcoming sort of like, I think he was good in the role. And it's like he had a lot of prospects, and maybe this kind of like took it away from him. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like I can see his like frustration with it, but he also could have said, well, why are we doing this? Why don't we do this instead? That kind of stuff.
All right. Well,
like actors do have influence over the roles that they play.
Right.
Well, yeah.
So money talks either way, and whatever he feels about it, he is part of the universe now, and you can't have another person play Finn other than Johnny Boyega. So I like him. I thought he was good, but you're right. I see what you're saying with the story arc and stuff.
Right.
All right. What else we got?
In term, have you seen WandaVision?
I did.
Right. And what did you think?
I really disliked the first couple or few episodes where they were doing the old 50s sitcom sort of nonsense. I thought that was, I guess,
I thought that was interesting.
yeah, I didn't.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, the director of that show,
Yep.
Matt Shackman, um, takes on the helm of the Fantastic Four film that's coming up.
Oh.
So Fantastic Four will come into the MCU, and he is going to be and he's going to direct that by the sounds of things.
Tell me John Krasinski is playing Reed.
That's not confirmed yet.
I know, but listen, I love John Krasinski ever since The Office. Love that guy, but I love his movies too. Oh my gosh. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so that's going to be cool. And in terms of like other stuff coming up, like the main thing that springs to mind is the new Avatar film.
By James Cameron.
Yeah. I think it's called The Way of Water. But
yeah, it just looks the same as the first one.
Yeah, pretty much does. I'm not 100% sure. I think it comes out next month.
Yeah, I'll go see it. I honestly don't have any ambition to see it. James Cameron has mouthed off over the last few years, just blah, 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 blah. Just even his hate towards the Marvel movies and all that stuff, only because they are making a killing. And his movies have almost kind of dropped down too. Avatar was boring. It was a movie that was done over and over and over. He just basically changed it and put blue people in it. That's it. He stole. Right.
So you didn't like Avatar?
No, he stole someone else's many stories and just put blue people in it. Graphically, or the CGI, beautiful, incredible. But meh.
I'm surprised, to be honest, that you didn't like it.
Really?
I think it's a decent film. It's quite long, but I think it sort of needed to be. But name a James Cameron film that's short. I mean,
yeah, that's.
But it's I think it's decent. It's I just think it's like too little, too late for the sequel. Because the first one came out in 2009, and now we're getting, and now we're going to get another one 13 years later.
It's only because he just wants to jump in on this and try to prove people wrong that you don't have to have like this Marvel stuff is nonsense. That's all he's doing. I don't even think he really wanted to do the movies other than just to prove to a point that he's top dog or something like that. Honestly, the guy has come off as a major douchebag, and it's so frustrating. It is. Yeah. It's really frustrating to hear him mouthing off online.
Like the I just think they should have stuck with the first one.
Should have. Yeah, and that's it.
But yeah.
Cool.
And that's pretty much what I got.
All right. Well, I just happen to have some horror news, Lee. Horror news. And Knights of the Old Republic movies will be amazing. Resident Evil, the epic Netflix new show, canceled. And we just covered that 2 weeks ago. And it was announced that it was canceled. And the majority of the people were like, good, because it was bad. Now, I'm not a Resident Evil fan, and I liked the first half of the show and then hated the last half. I thought it was pretty terrible. But you guys can go back and watch.
The show was terrible.
We can go back and rewatch the old their podcast from 2 weeks ago. It was. Anyways, it's canceled. It is canceled, and I think that's funny. And then, are you familiar with the Munsters?
The monsters in what, Resident Evil?
No, we're moving on from Resident Evil. So with Resident Evil. But there's an old TV show called The Munsters, Munsters.
No, I'm not.
Super funny, dude. Give it a watch, and it's kind of like Addams Family, but it's called The Munsters. And so Rob Zombie is doing, I'm not sure if it's a movie or TV show. Big Casino said Rob Zombie movie. It's coming to Netflix September 27th. I didn't even realize. And also, I guess sticking with horror, but even though it's not, the Addams Family, Catherine Zeta-Jones is playing the mother on the new Addams Family TV show that they're doing. So, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Yes, Catherine Zeta-Jones. And then, let's jump into some Walking Dead news. Is the TV show is coming down to an end. It's in their final last legs or whatever. So now they're doing knockoffs, and I got the Tales from the Walking Dead. It's a new series that started. I've got the first couple episodes downloaded or PVR'd, and I haven't watched them yet just because we're doing other things. But there is a Maggie and Negan show. Why we need a Maggie and Negan show, I have no clue. But they're doing it. It's going to be in New York, which I think is kind of cool and intriguing. They changed the name to The Walking Dead Dead City. And with New York, it's a smaller area, but millions upon millions of people in New York City alone. So I'm actually excited to watch it. But have you watched The Walking Dead at all?
No, I haven't.
All right, so Walking Dead was great. Then it would drop down. Then it was good again, drop down, and then it was good. And then they brought the Negan storyline, and then the show just fell apart terribly. They killed off a dude named Glenn, which I think was probably one of the bigger things, even though it went along with the comics, I believe. But
he was a character in the games.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And so, but Glenn was married to Maggie. And so she watched Negan kill Glenn, and then that storyline has been its own separate thing. And now they're deciding to put Negan and Maggie together to do a show in New York City. But The Walking Dead. Brilliant. So yeah, Terry Crews is doing the Walking Dead spinoff also. Are you familiar with Terry Crews?
The name rings a bell.
So Terry Crews is the big ex-football player, bald head. He shakes his pecs constantly. Every time. He's an amazing, hyper, insane energy, phenomenal dude. Terry Crews, I love that guy to death. He's so awesome. I was so mad when they killed Glenn. I was too, Catrix. And so Terry Crews is in this new Walking Dead spinoff show, which is Tales. Yeah, I forget the name of it now. I did have it. And so, yeah, he's in it. He's in it. The White Chicks movie. I don't think I watched that. So upcoming movies. Are you familiar with any upcoming movies?
I mean, other than the Avatar one, not so much.
So what I'm going to do is, since we do this every 2 weeks for now, for the next 2 weeks, I'll give an outlook and I'll go through movies that are possibly significant that are coming out in 2 weeks. So the new Pinocchio is coming out on Disney Plus September 8th. Apparently, oh my gosh, the Rings of Power. We gotta add the Lord of the Rings Rings of Power show. I can't believe I still haven't watched it. 1 second.
Well, it's not out yet, is it?
Yeah, I think the first episode is already out, or is it, or isn't it?
I thought it was out like in September.
Okay, all right. So yeah, they did do a new trailer, which was gorgeous. So yeah, all right. So maybe it's this weekend actually, or next Friday. I think it is. The first episode is next Friday. So add that to your list. Yeah, we'll talk about that. So anyways, Pinocchio's coming out, blah blah blah. And so there's also a new movie that's coming out. I'm going to give you guys the trailer. And I want you to watch it and let me know what you think. I'm kind of excited for this. So we went to the movie to see Beast Friday night, and they showed this trailer. And I was like, Isaac, turn your head. Don't watch this. Isaac's 12. He's not really into the horror stuff.
A horror thing, man.
Yeah, he's yes, sir. You gotta watch it. It was really cool. And Black Panther 2's in November. Yeah. And so I was all excited when this came out because the trailer actually looks pretty freaking sweet. So I was excited about that. So anyways, that's the trailer for Barbarian. That comes out September 9th, which I'm very excited to go see.
I'm not.
So while you guys are watching a trailer, if you are, the gist of it is this girl goes almost like an Airbnb. And she's like, I got this place. This is my place. And the dude's already staying there. And she's like, well, I'm not going to stay here. And so he goes, look outside. It's pretty dark. I wouldn't be out there alone if I were you. And she's like, okay. As most people would. I want to stay with some stranger in this single house. And as she's sleeping, her door is open and all she hears is somebody running by. And then it just picks up from there. She's like, what the? And then she goes out and goes downstairs. And it's just a whole new thing of amazingness. September 2nd, Rings of Power is out. Okay. That is, I believe it is this Friday, Rings of Power. So we'll watch. Yes. We got to do that one, Lee, because that's is it the whole series or just first couple eps? Are you watching a trailer right now?
Yeah.
The look of disgust on your face is a riot.
I like the first half of the trailer.
Oh, yeah. First half of the trailer, you're like, oh, okay. Second half of the trailer is like, oh my gosh. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's a big nope.
Really? I don't know. We may have to cover it, Lee. I think for journalism purposes.
I'll make you watch Arcane.
No, we won't go there. This is the Pharaoh's cinematic universe. I can veto your Arcane boringness. Anyways, all right. Barbarian comes out September 9th, so which is cool. All right. We're going to move on to the movie The Beast. Jam, Ultimate Hater. I believe it's the first 2 episodes. If it's ever, so I want the full package right away, but this I want to savor it and enjoy. I went to see the movie Beast with Idris Elba. All right, and I'm going to give spoiler free for now, I think. Yeah, I'll just talk about it a little bit because Lee, you haven't seen it, right?
No, I haven't seen it.
All right, so the gist of the movie is, if you watch the trailer, let me give Beast movie trailer. Let me give you guys that, just so you can see what I'm talking about.
I'm getting the hint that you didn't like it.
No. You just hang tight. That's it there. So the gist of the movie is, a father takes his 2 daughters to Africa. And basically, that's where their mother is from. It's Idris Elba, who should be the next James Bond, by the way. Idris Elba is amazing. I love his acting. I love the dude himself. Anything with Idris Elba, I'm like, I want to watch it because I think he's amazing.
Except from the film The Dark Tower, because that's.
Oh, I didn't even see The Dark Tower.
It's not good.
All right, I get it. So, what happens is they go out. And there's a rogue lion. And that's what it's really about. And so it's kind of like a modern day Cujo. Have you ever seen Cujo?
No, but I know of it.
All right. So yeah, Cujo's a Stephen King movie. Only this is with a lion. So I'm going to say I liked it. Okay. Just saw the trailer. The movie looks interesting. Yeah, I liked it. Okay. But if you're looking for something like different, incredible, like, wow, this isn't it. This is predictable. This is something that's already been done over and over. But when I say predictable, I called it at the beginning of their scene. I said to Steph, I leaned over, I was like, they're going to do this, and this is how it's going to end. And an hour later, bam, surprise, that's exactly what happened. Because they gave it away in the movie with one of the dudes gave away the ending with what he said. His line was to say this line, and he gave it away. All right? So my whole thing was, the movie was cool. I enjoyed it. It was gratuitous jump scares, basically, is what they try to do. It's just like, yeah, here comes a jump scare. Boom. Surprise, a jump scare. Have you watched it? I haven't watched Zoo, no. And so there was a scene at the end. And this, if you guys, this may be a little spoilery, here, Lightsy, what's up, buddy? This may be a little spoilery, all right? If you guys are going to watch the movie Beast, you may just want to mute for a second. And here, let me put up my spoiler alert thing here. All right, spoiler alert, right at the top, spoiler alert. So what happened was, there is a scene where Idris Elba's like, that's it, mano-y-mano. I'm taking out this freaking lion. It's time to square off. And so it shows on the right-hand side of the screen, Idris Elba, and then it shows the lion slowly walking behind him, like they're going to duel. The problem is Idris Elba is CG.
what?
And it wasn't a good CG. It was a nightmarish CG that made me just like, what he is doing. One, and I'm 100% hetero, so Idris Elba is a great looking dude. He really is. He's physically fit. He's got that wonderful voice, and he's just a handsome dude. Bottom line, I don't have an attraction. I just recognize this guy's he's eye candy for many ladies, and that's okay, and dudes probably. But you don't need a CG Idris Elba at all, and it looked disgusting, and I hated it.
Was the lion real? Or...
So the lion CG was really, really good. There were some moments you're like, okay, that's CG, and then there was other moments was like, is that CG? So that's how it was. It's just like they spent their CG budget by the time the end of the movie happened, and they're like, well, see what you can do. And then you got some kid on YouTube. Here, I'll animate Idris Elba for you. And they're like, all right, well, that's all we can pay. That's what it seemed like. And it was such a disappointment to see that CG. And so, like, even though I already called the ending and I knew it was, I knew it was going to happen. It was just like, meh, all right, cool. That's how it happened. But the CG Idris Elba at the end was a nightmare. And maybe
the only thing that I think that it would be like a CG Idris Elba would be if there was like a real lion. It's like, well, obviously they can't put Idris in a place with a real lion.
I'm not sure, man, but it was bad.
It's
like it wasn't. You didn't look at it and you're like, okay, well that's acceptable. It was nightmarishly bad. It didn't even. It almost
like uncanny valley type stuff.
Oh yeah, it's just like, what are you doing? You guys just ruined all my personal enjoyment. And so that kind of sucks. So that is spoiler alert. That was The Beast. I give it like a 6 out of 10. I'm gonna give the movie Beast 6 out of 10. Even though it was super predictable, but the acting was really good. The storyline was pretty decent overall. I said the O word, and but it was good. It was all right. So 6 out of 10. And should I watch Westworld season 2 and 4? I want to watch it, Meister. I watched the first season, loved it, lots of boobies, and then I just didn't watch the rest of the season. So
I haven't seen any of it.
It's actually cool, man, and something that
I heard that it's good.
Yeah, I would be interested in going to Westworld. I'm just throwing that out there. All right, so we are going to discuss. Anything else about the Beast movie? Any questions?
No, not particularly. I mean, like, I'm interested in what that line was that basically told you how the film was going to end.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, right. and the dude came up and said, "Yeah, this is what happens." Blah blah blah, and then I was like, "That's the end of the movie," and I was 100% right. It was that predictable.
Right. Wow. Okay.
But yeah, so what they kind of did with some of the stuff is they're like, okay, people who are going to go see this are not intelligent. So let's just kind of explain some things in the movie and the dialogue just so they can clue in. And
yeah, it's like, it's not foreshadowing. It's like,
right.
It's literally the director coming up and saying, all right, well, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, so
make it go that way.
He dumbed it down. Whoever wrote the movie, and for the movie itself, not the book or anything, they dumbed it down for the audience. And I don't think they had to do that. I think a lot of us, many people in the world already know that's going to watch this movie anyways, because there were some terrifying scenes, blah, blah, blah. But most of us know what poachers are. Most of us know what anti-poachers are. Most of us know what happens in prides and all of that other stuff. So yeah, anyways. All right, let's jump into She-Hulk Night 1 and 2. I watched episode 1 and 2 this morning, and I was going to say I do apologize that I didn't watch it before that, but I think it's best that I did watch it this morning, that it was fresh. Now, I won't do that every week, because not every week do I have the time to just sit and watch a couple episodes. So I thought each episode was going to be an hour. They're like 33 minutes, 34 minutes. So Lee, since I talk constantly, I'm putting up my spoiler alert for She-Hulk, boys and girls, okay? Excuse me. Recon, what's up, buddy? We're going to talk She-Hulk episodes 1 and 2. Those are the only 2 out right now. Lee, give me your breakdown and let's discuss She-Hulk. There will be spoilers, boys and girls. So if you're going to watch She-Hulk, And then we're going to talk Star Wars Attack of the Clones. So if you want to come back in a little while, you can do whatever it is you like to do. Or you can just chill and have a good time with us and discuss it. Put your questions in the comments, all of that stuff.
Yeah, cool. So, in terms of She-Hulk, the main talk about it has been like the CG. That's the main sort of like hurdle that they need to climb over. And because when the trailers were out, I'm gonna be honest, it didn't look that good in the trailers. In these first two episodes, I think they look all right. They don't look as bad as in the trailer. I think the first episode was longer than the second.
Yes.
Yeah, and and it mainly focused on her getting her powers,
Right.
and dealing with the new lifestyle that she has. And but like by the way, how she gets her powers is similar to how she gets in the comics, where it's a
Okay.
car accident.
All right. So I thought that was super speedily done. And so if that's the case, then they probably just assumed, hey, anybody watching She-Hulk already knows the comics for the most part. All right. I thought it was just speedily done. Oh, you had to have some of my blood. You're good to go. You're the new Hulk.
I think in the comics it was that she was in a car accident. I don't know whether it was a spaceship or anything, but she was in a car accident. She was then taken into hospital, and the only way that she could live was for Bruce to give some of her blood and his blood to her, and that's how it happened.
Yeah, she got his gamma. Her body could handle the gammas properly, or whatever.
Yeah. So like I'm okay with that. I think the CG on Smart Hulk, I think that looked really good.
Smart Hulk.
Well, Professor
I know. No,
Hulk,
that's funny. Smart Hulk is funny. I like that. All right.
There's different versions of the name. I don't know what's the main name.
I don't know either.
But I think there were, but like with the CG on him, it's kind of like sort of has to be done differently because because as the Hulk, it's like a more monstrous figure. There's they already have something to graft on from like Endgame because they already had that kind of stuff, and for a show it's a smaller budget. For like Mark Ruffalo as like a guy, he's got like more imperfections on his face, so like the pores on his face, like more like sharp, like jaw and everything. So there's more stuff to graft the CGI onto. Which can make it more like it just makes it look better. Whereas like a woman, like a She-Hulk, it's harder to do because like as this version displays, like it's not like a monstrous figure. It's just a taller version of her.
Right.
And like with sort of like smoother contours and everything like that. So it's harder to then graft the CGI onto her. So I think there was always going to be an issue trying to do that. But I think for the most part they've done a good job. In terms of the plots, like I think that's fine with me, to be honest. I can't say that I really got behind the like her ability to cope better, but it's like, but then also say that she has to sacrifice so much for this new lifestyle.
And she
doesn't. So it's like,
oh, really?
Well, not really, no, because whereas Bruce, like he had to because he had like a monstrous alter ego, where she doesn't have that. So I can't say that I really got behind that, but yeah, I think the first episode is definitely better than the second one.
Okay. So don't go into the second one yet. Don't go into the second one yet. So I want to point out something that I thought was brilliant. And anybody who does this obviously has higher IQ and skill and all of this other stuff, right? they're driving in the car. You got Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. You got this new girl, which I think she's awesome. She looks like Alyssa Milano, which is awesome. But she was eating Cheetos with chopsticks.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What are you doing? This is like," and she said, "So you don't get the cheese dust coverings all over your fingers." And I thought, anybody who would have something like popcorn, chips, peanuts, and use a utensil to eat it so you don't get crap all over your hands, obviously is a higher level being, higher level person, more intelligence. I wonder if there's other people out there. Wait a minute, there is. It's me. I do that, Lee. I do that. I don't use chopsticks, but I use a spoon, fork to eat popcorn, peanuts. Sometimes I'll even use it for, unless I get to wash my hands prior. But just as a heads up, I want to say that stood out to me as probably one of the greatest things of all time in any sort of show. Introducing a wayward generation and a world going to hell, a way of eating other things so you just don't get kegged all over your hands, or even putting germs into your mouth to give you a man cold. Brilliance. Is anybody recognizing my brilliance? I thought that was really cool. I thought that was awesome.
And that's your favorite part of the show, right?
Well, that's the part that stood out the most. I gotta say, what did you think of her talking to the screen at the very beginning?
Well, like it was quite jarring. Like it was like, whoa, okay, that's going in like quite hard. But apparently in the comics, like I know I keep going back to the comics.
No, do it. That's okay.
She was a character who could break the fourth wall. But for like Deadpool, there's kind of like a reason where it's like, well, Deadpool's insane and he has like sort of that kind of ability to because he knows he's a comic book character, so he can use the tropes and stuff like that. For She-Hulk, I don't think there's like a real reason for it other than she just can.
Yep.
But I don't know how that like sort of works in a sense, because like if you think in the first episode she did it in front of Bruce and Bruce looked at her like you know like he wasn't like looking at the camera or anything, he was just looking at her, so it's kind of jarring. I think it's all right though.
Okay, so yeah, they did that. I did find that she becoming a She-Hulk was rushed, but I get it. Just get it out of the way. This is who she is. This is how she gets it, and that's in like in the first 10 minutes or whatever, which I thought was cool. Their fight I thought was hilarious.
I quite liked it.
When he's trying to get her mad, and then all of a sudden he gets a little angry, and then she starts throwing like a basket and it lands on his head, and then she throws a couple surfboards, pop pop pop. I thought that was a riot. He punches her, she hits that coconut tree and it swings back and ding 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 ding, coconuts in the head. I thought it was wonderful, man. I thought that was hilarious. And I'll tell you, with her, I'm just going right to the end, and then we'll discuss a little more. Her getting a little upset about talking about how now that she's a superhero, she'll never have sex, all of this stuff, and she is talking about Captain America, and she's like, with his butt, he never had sex, he died as a virgin, and then he's like, I can tell you, he's not a virgin, he had sex in 1940, blah blah blah, and at the very end, which blew my mind, even though they cut it off. She's like, Captain America, and then it popped up right away. And I thought, wow, I can't believe that Disney would even allow that little bit to do that. But I thought that was so freaking funny. I really enjoyed the first episode. I thought it was good. They're really focusing on comedy in this one. And I don't know if this is like a new direction, especially with that terrible Thor movie, the last one we just saw, which was mainly a comedy. And the director and anybody who approved that movie should burn in hell. But anything else about the first episode before we jump into episode 2?
I think I just think how it all looked was done like really well.
Yeah.
In terms of just in terms of how it was done, and I think it looks pretty solid, and the little sort of like little subtleties, I guess, where it's like she she she's trying to drive Bruce's Jeep to get out, but it's like it's made for the Hulk, so she then has to sit on her own bag to get herself out, and like um, and I thought like the little training montage was good, where it's like Bruce throws like just tosses a little rock.
Yeah.
She has to try and put her effort to throw it, and he's like, well, she threw it further. He just then lobs it into space.
Yeah, it burns in the atmosphere. I thought that was funny too. He's just like, you're She-Hulk, but you're not Hulk. Basically,
No.
is what it was. So
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Yeah. So all right, let's go to number two. They really focused on comedy for number two as well with the family. As crazy as his freaking family is, it was awesome to see cousin Larry Appleton. When I say cousin Larry Appleton, you probably have no clue what I'm talking about. But there's a show in the early 80s or mid 80s called Perfect Strangers. And it was a dude called cousin Larry Appleton. And then it was another dude called Belky Bartakamus. And then Belky was from some land far, far, far away. And then Larry lived in New York or whatever. And basically it was Belky coming to visit Larry. It was just a wonderful comedy. It was funny. It had some heartful moments like a lot of 80s sitcoms did. And to see him now, like 30 plus years later in a Marvel show playing the dad, the guy who played the dad is cousin Larry Appleton. That's how I know him as. And it was funny. I like the fact that it was like, don't talk about her getting fired from her job, and then as soon as they sit down, hey, you lost your job, eh? From the brother or the cousin or whatever. Oh my gosh, it was just funny. Hey, I know a hairdresser that I could refer you to. I thought that was some really good stuff. I really enjoyed it. Seeing the dude that played Abomination, I honestly can't wait to see where that goes.
Tim Roth.
I can't wait to see where that goes. I'm really intrigued now. How is Abomination in a cage fight or something like that?
Well, that was in Shang-Chi. Partway through Shang-Chi, when Shang-Chi was going to meet his sister, she was in charge of like this sort of like this fighting ring, like and when you first see it, it's Abomination fighting Wong.
Okay.
And Wong is like, well, no, like Wong is sort of like training him in to some point, and then they leave, like after the fight. But that was Abomination and Wong fighting, and apparently it's like it's been revealed now that that's what happened, and it's like, well, that's sort of like a curveball to her like legal case.
Yeah. Hold on, I got to go back to Thor: Love and Thunder. I saw both in the theater as well. Thor: Love and Thunder is just a boring garbage movie. I'm just throwing it out there. Thor: Love and Thunder had some comedy moments, but it was just terrible. And I don't know if it's because we had Fancy Pants Zeus, who was a ballerina. I don't know, but
I think like Zeus was the worst part, but it wasn't terrible.
No, Zeus was terrible. The movie was all right. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I was like, why are they doing Thor this dirty? It should have been an epic movie.
Like my only gripe with the Thor: Love and Thunder is just certain points he should have just called Mjolnir instead of Stormbreaker. It's like, well, that could have just made the film a lot easier for him.
But if you guys want to hear our full thoughts on Thor: Love and Thunder, our very first episode of this movie, or of this podcast, we talked about Thor: Love and Thunder. We broke it down. We really dove into it, and excuse me, we did it. We had a good time. All right, back to She-Hulk. Yeah. Oh, one of the funny things is you had Abomination. You said Tim Roth. Talk about how I've been apologizing. I've been sending people haikus, which I thought was funny. I was like, snicker. And then you had her going to Hulk and apologize. Like, hey, this is Abomination. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to defend him. He's like, oh, it's okay. He sent me a nice haiku, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's freaking funny. That was really good. So keep going. Episode 2.
Yeah, like I thought it was good. It sort of displayed that, well, the the budget's not big enough to keep the Hulk in for the entire show,
Right.
so he has to be on a spaceship that is just gone away.
Hold on. These guys have signed up to play these Marvel characters for 10 plus years or whatever.
Yeah.
Should they just do these shows for a smaller budget? Even because I know his first episode appearance was a lot longer than anything else. But I don't know. I almost think these guys should be doing it. It's just, this is what the fans want. I don't know. I guess I'm being selfish. I'm being very selfish. I want to see all these guys in these TV shows.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like, but I suppose it's like, not everyone's got Disney Plus. Not everyone's like gonna get into shows, no matter how long they are. But so like I think shows are like naturally gonna get a smaller audience.
Yeah, I suppose.
But I think I think him sort of dipping out of the show. I wanted to see more.
Yes.
But I think we got enough, in terms of like explanations and stuff to
explain to me then, because you're our Marvel resident, as I don't really have a clue. I just stopped paying attention to Marvel years ago. I just like the movies. What is this spaceship and why is he flying one? The same one.
Well, the spaceship. It looks like the same one that was in episode 1 where they ended up in the car club.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of spaceship is the same kind of spaceship that Thor, Hulk, and Valkyrie used to escape Sakaar in Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
So that's the same kind of ship that they used to escape, like Jeff Goldblum, and make it back to Asgard where Hela was.
Right. Okay.
And so it may be like a reconnection where it's like, hey Hulk, you were the champion on this planet. You were the champion fighter on this planet. We need you to come back.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And that kind of stuff. Because a big storyline in the comics was like a World War Hulk, or like a planet Hulk, where it's literally the Hulk in space. And it's the closest thing that we've had to adapt to that was Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
It sort of had mixed stuff where it's like, oh, great, we've got like a buddy cop duo with Thor and Hulk in space, which was excellent.
Yep.
But then it was like sort of cut short because it was a Thor film, and we had to get back to the Thor stuff.
All right.
But maybe this is sort of like taking a step back, and it's like, hey, you're going back to space, mate. And they just needed to make an excuse for that.
Wow. Okay. Excellent. All right. Any more on the She-Hulk movie or TV show, I should say?
Yeah, I think it's going all right. Yeah. It's yeah. I'm interested on how it's gonna pan out. The thing is with She-Hulk is that I'm not so interested in her, like, herself, but more of her connections with a lot of stuff. So it's like, obviously you get the Hulk, you get we're gonna get Wong in the show because that was in the trailer.
Yep.
We're gonna get Daredevil. That was in the trailer.
Yes. Yep.
So it's like,
which makes sense because he's a lawyer as well.
Yeah, he's a lawyer as well. So it's like, I'm more interested in her connections than herself, if that makes sense.
So it almost seems as if it's going to be all by random chances, her meeting these dudes.
Yeah, I suppose. Because she wouldn't, what other reason would she meet Wong other than the fact that Wong was the guy who fought Abomination in Shang-Chi, and that's been outed in the news.
Nick just said she's heavily connected to Fantastic Four. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't really know too much about that.
All right, cool. We'll see what happens. I liked it. You know what? I'd give the show a 8 out of 10. I think I would give it an 8 out of 10. I don't even know if there was anything I complained about other than like it was super fast, but I think it needs to be done instead of dragging it on. So like I give that a pass. The Cheetos eating with chopsticks, of course, that's a 20 out of 10. So if the show was a 4, it would immediately bring it up to an 8 because that wisdom and mentality is top notch. I thought it was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah, it was enjoyable.
Yeah, like it's better than some of the other shows that are knocking around. I think, yeah, like I think like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that was boring to me.
Okay.
But I thought like Moon Knight, I thought that was interesting.
I haven't watched so many of these.
Yeah, I haven't finished Ms. Marvel. I haven't. It's not. It doesn't appeal to me, but that's not the fault of like the actors and stuff.
No, it's because it's tainted by our personal connection to a character like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Like my pirate's name is Missy. Or my pirate's bird's name is Missy. And that's why it's kind of ruined it and tainted it for me. So
yeah.
So I just haven't bothered.
Yeah, I mean, like that's not necessarily the reason for me, but
it is for me. Just because of my pirate's bird's name. That's why. All right. All right, cool. What would you give it?
As it stands, I guess 7 out of 10.
Okay. Did you have any gripes on the show? Like any complaints? Any like, oh, all right.
Not really as of yet. It's just like I think just the idea that it's like, you know, I don't know where it's gonna go, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But I think like the thing that's kind of stopping me from enjoying it is just like so much is that it's not her that I'm there to see. It's the people that we're familiar with that she has connections with.
Really? Okay. Now that I know she looks like Alyssa Milano, I am there to see her in every episode, in every waking minute.
I mean, there are different ways to see it.
No, listen, it's she. I want to see these different superheroes that I grew up as a kid for many years. Like I heard of She-Hulk, I heard of this person, I heard of that person. Never heard of Miss Marvel, to be honest. I don't know if that's
she's a new character in the comics.
All right, that's why then. And so this stuff here is so intriguing. I think it's cool, and it's just different and exciting, and I'm enjoying it. I thought the first 2 episodes were awesome. Miss Marvel, I'm not bothered out of the Avengers game with Miss Marvel. Put me off. Her voice in the game put me off. Yeah, it's a good show, and so I can't. When is it? Every Friday there's a new or every Wednesday or something? Or?
Every Thursday, I believe.
Okay, so we will cover that. So just as the next podcast, we do this one every 2 weeks for now. I'm just saying. And so whether we take a break from the other one, I don't know. But we'll see. We've got She-Hulk. We will add the Ring of Powers or whatever. And then what was the other one? Wasn't there another one?
The House of Dragon.
House of Dragon. This is the problem. Is there's really awesome stuff coming out, and Ring of Powers next, and then the House of Dragons. We'll watch that. I got to send myself a reminder to get all that, and I'm excited. I'm excited to cover those shows. Miss Marvel was like the only new hero that has somewhat successful run. I'm happy that they abandoned her right after her first run. Yeah, me too. I honestly think the more superheroes, the better. This isn't Netflix. Netflix just abandons shows that are awesome and like, yeah, we're done. Like, why? We all want more, and that's a Netflix way. So let's go into our main topic, which is Star Wars: The Attack of the Clones. We're rocking it. So we weren't sure if we were going to do Attack of the Clones this week or not, and then we're just trying to decide. And like, you know what? Let's just do Attack of the Clones. So in this TV movie podcast, we're doing TV shows and movies, and whether we get more most likely do more TVs than we do movies. But you know what? This is going to be a growing podcast. You can see we're episode 3. We've got a whole new setup sort of thing. And then we'll just keep adding more and more and more. Once I can do a little more awesome stuff. There is an entertainment podcast by Kevin Smith called Hollywood Babylon that really helped me through some super dark times. I'm just going to throw that out there. And if you've not listened, it's a podcast. So it's Ralph Garman, Kevin Smith. It is a riot. And it's so much funny. It's so funny. They took it on they did it in a theater, and then they just took it on the road, and it just got so successful and all of that stuff. Now they're doing like Batman reading comics and stuff, and I'm not part of that, but I don't like that. But their show, if I could get my show somewhat like that, if we could do some different stuff, that's where I want to go, because it's just super funny.
Sure.
But yeah,
I'll watch some of that, see how they do it, and then
you watched it? I've never watched it.
Oh no! I will watch it.
Oh yeah, listen to it. I think you can watch it too. I think you got to pay for it though. But yeah, if you want to do something like that, it's really awesome. Boom. All right, one sec. Yeah. And so no, that's fantastic. So, yeah, Sir Junk. And so, all right, let's get into Star Wars: Attack of the Clones. Doing awesome, Sir Junk. Sir Junk. Sir Junk. So Lee. You take it, you lead us. This is probably the best way to do it, eh? Since I talk so much for the first half, might as well let you lead the rest of the way, where I interrupt you constantly. And
it's all good. It's all good.
All right, cool. All right, Attack of the Clones, guys. If you watch Star Wars: Attack of the Clones, let me know your thoughts. Tell me what you think. All of that stuff in here. So we did last one. We did the Phantom Menace. We're doing Attack of the Clones today, and we'll keep going.
Sure. Like Attack of the Clones, it's watching it again. It's quite funny.
Where does this stand on for you for out of the 9, 10, 11 movies?
What out of the 11?
Out of the 11, yeah.
It's out of the original 6 films, it's the second worst. Phantom Menace is still the worst one.
No.
But I find this one hilarious.
This one is bad. The acting by all right, you go ahead, because I'm going to get off on a rant. I'm sorry. You go ahead, lead the way.
It's funny. I like it. But in the way that like it's so bad it's good type of way.
No. Well, you know why I can't say no. I'd have to agree.
It's it starts out Padme, who's now a senator and not a queen, heading to Coruscant, the homeworld of the Republic, to fight on like the argument on whether to have a galactic Republic army. I can't that's fine. She turns out it's a decoy on the ship. The ship blows up, and the decoy of Padme dies because she likes to have decoys.
But not right away. She's that invincible that she could withstand a super blast, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, of course. And So Padme's there to look at the decoy's final words, and she says, "Sorry, I failed." And it's like, you haven't failed. That's literally your whole point.
Yeah.
The whole point is to in a sense die in place of her.
Right. I would have been, screw you. This should have been you. That's what, because that's how I would have been. You know what? I didn't sign up to lose my life. You should have died. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's like she says she failed. It's like, well, you died in place of her. That's great. You know, you did your job really well. And then the sort of the stuff happens where you have Palpatine talking to the room of Jedi.
Yes, like, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, and it's like I could name all of these Jedi, I just think that's funny, and it's like, oh, you can be under the protection of um, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, and then it cuts to them and
Ugh.
with them being awkward and everything.
Yeah, it takes a major dive at that point.
Yes, I think I see it in a little bit of a different light after seeing the Kenobi show, because there's like flashback scene where where that takes place around about episode 2, and I think it's interesting to have a little bit of, I guess, extra context to it, but it doesn't save it from, like, oh, they're going up the lift, and at the top of the lift, Jar Jar,
Yeah.
and but he takes a smaller role in the film, which is for everyone's sake, um, and yeah, it's just Anakin is so creepy, and it's like they fall in love later on in the
Hold on.
film.
Did you just say Anakin's really creepy?
Yes,
Okay, because I agree, and I didn't agree. I didn't even think of that until today.
yeah,
I'm watching
he's
it.
really creepy.
He is, and he's rubbing her arm. It's really smooth, and he's like
Yeah,
looking at her boobs. It's really smooth, and I
yeah,
was like, oh
it's
my gosh, dude.
and she's like, "Can you stop looking at me like that?" And he keeps looking at her. It's like, "Sorry, my lady."
Yeah,
It's like, "Oh my god."
I'm getting a boner right now. I'm so sorry, my lady. Can you put
Yeah,
that away, Anakin? That lightsaber? It's not my lightsaber, my lady. But you got smooth skin, rubbing her arm. Oh my gosh, you're right. It was creepy. You can tell he's never had an interaction with a girl ever in his entire life, outside
no,
of movies, inside of movies.
yeah, and it's like, but the thing is that she's a little bit creepy as well, where it's like she ends up confessing her love for him like later in the film, and yet when they first meet in this film, she's like, "Oh, you're always that little boy I met on Tatooine." It's like, okay.
Yeah, stick it in me, Anakin. Absolutely. Yeah, it's so freaking weird. I
But
didn't even consider that.
yeah, it's just the whole relationship on both parts is just really weird. It's just filled with like mood swings and everything. And as you get to the part where he like, after he kills the Tuscans, and it's like, and she and she's like, "Oh my god, what happened?" And he's like, "Oh, I killed them all, men, women, children, um, and they're animals. I slaughtered them like animals." And she's like, "Oh, he's so hot right now." And it's like, because that's how they that's how they fell in love. It's like, and the dialogue that goes with it. I've always thought that George Lucas, he's a great sort of like visionary in terms of the how he wants the plot to play out, I guess,
Yep.
but he's terrible at script writing.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
um, where he, Anakin goes, I wish I could just wish my feelings away, and it's like, no, that sucks.
Yeah,
um,
it was weird. It's awkward.
yes,
The Obi-Wan and Anakin interactions are really, I think it's too try hard on
mm,
trying to I'm having a hard time explaining it, but it's just not well done.
yeah,
And like the Padawan and learner sort of role and all that stuff. Yes, my master. I'm sorry, my master. I'll do better, my master. And like, shut up. Just listen to your master speak, soak it in, all of that other
mm,
stuff. It was really frustrating and annoying. Especially now that we're doing it on a podcast, you kind of watch it with a more critical eye and just see if you can pick up
yeah.
stuff. And Camino is still amazing. I'm throwing that out
Oh
there. I
yes,
still love Camino,
yes.
but keep going, keep going.
But yeah, so like going back, there's the assassination attempt in the bedroom, and it's like, so we get a guy, right, who sends a guy to send a guy to send a girl to send a droid to send centipedes to kill Padme, and that's the line that it goes. And even then, like, that doesn't work. Um, and I just kind of find it funny that, like, when Anakin jumps out the speeder, and like to skydive pretty much. And Obi-Wan's like, oh, I hate it when he does that. It's like, Obi-Wan, dude, you literally dived out the window to grab a droid.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like he's you're no better at this.
It's
and
so weird.
But and it's like the bounty hunter that they were tracking,
Zam
like that they
Wessel.
were trying to, yeah. She was a changeling, and
Yep.
she didn't change. Like they could have used that.
So yeah, is she a changeling then?
Yeah, she's a changeling.
Wait a minute.
Because when she died, she changed back.
Oh, okay. So when she came up to stab or kill Obi-Wan or whatever,
Yeah.
was she a different character or was she Zam Wessel?
No, she was Zam Wessel.
That's funny. I didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah, it's like she's a changeling. Use that, but otherwise make her like a different alien who can't change.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So you know what was cool, and I never clued into this out of the dozens plus times I've seen Attack of the Clones, is they make it to Coruscant's bar. They make it to that bar, whatever, tracking Zam Wessel. And Obi-Wan says, I'm going to the bar. And immediately my head shot to A New Hope, where Obi-Wan is at the bar. And I was like, okay, that's a really cool throwback, because I love throwbacks. And that was a really cool throwback that I've never, ever paid attention to.
And in both instances, he chops off an arm.
Yes, he does. So that I thought that was cool. I never clued into that before.
Right before a guy offers him death sticks.
Yes. Oh, that was so stupid. Like when I first saw it, the first few times, I didn't care. I was like, "Oh, snicker. You want to rethink your life choices, blah blah." And then I watched it today, and I was like, "Oh, it's so stupid."
You want to buy some death sticks?
Yeah. Let's go to the Jedi at the bar and offer him death sticks. All right, keep going.
And then we find out that someone else who sent her. He flies away, and it's like, oh well, we need to track him with the poison dart. They end up going to Camino. He doesn't know where Camino is. Neither does anyone else, apart from a youngling. He says, well, it must have been erased from the archived memory, even though Joe Castanew never thought of that.
Yoda's voice and stuff like that was terrible in this movie. There was just something different about it. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's
his delivery
it's a bit
sucked.
different.
Yeah.
In this, yeah. But I didn't care too much about that, to be honest.
You know what scene I did love in the movie though, leading up to where we're at, is Dax and Obi-Wan's interaction together.
Yes.
I thought it was heartful. It was like, hey, old buddy. It actually played fantastic, and I didn't mind the robot saying, "Hey, do you want some Java juice?" I didn't mind any of that. I thought that whole scene I thought was awesome. The dude that played Dax is I thought it was great. That scene has always stuck out to me as something awesome, something amazing, and really cool.
Yeah, and in the Clone Wars show, the guy with the four lightsabers, the two lightsabers but double-ended, Pong Krell.
Yeah.
He's the same species as Dax.
Okay. Excellent.
But Dax is like fatter and he's a chef.
Yes.
But I just thought that was interesting. And then so yeah, they find Camino. He has to go to Camino. I think Camino is a great place.
Love it. One of my favorite places of all time, if not my favorite place in the entire universe.
Yeah, it's excellent. Got to give a shout out to John Williams' score as well. That's amazing.
Yep.
Throughout the whole thing, it really elevates every scene. It makes the Anakin and Padme scenes bearable.
I suppose.
But it's I think that's cool. He then encounters Jango Fett, and like and sort of like the idea is like, oh, you've been expecting me. You've made a whole army? Wow, okay, cheers. We might use that later. And he meets Jango Fett, and they've got like the awkward conversation where it's like they're trying to size each other up.
Yeah, which I thought was really well done too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that was cool.
And it's like, and you get Tamara Morrison, who is excellent in the role. He plays like he plays all the clone, well, most.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hope you like your new army, and it's like, yeah, I'd like to see them in action. And he's like, they'll do their job well. I'm sure of that. And it's like, now that we know what they're gonna do, it's like it gives a whole new meaning.
Yep.
And then they have the fight on the landing platform.
That was excellent.
Yeah, I think that was cool because it shows like, well, Jango Fett, he can actually take on a Jedi.
Yeah.
And he's just that guy. We've got an army full of them now. Like,
yep.
there's that's got to account for something. And then he escapes on the Slave One, but Disney doesn't like to call it the Slave One anymore. But I still call it that.
It'll always be the Slave One.
I also noticed throughout the film, like, in terms of the scenes, it really jumps back and forth quite quickly. Like, you get a short scene with Obi-Wan, then a short scene with Anakin and Padme. Like, where Anakin nicks like the alien fruit from Padme's plate, chops it up, and then gives it back to her, and it's like.
And my Obi-Wan would be so upset with me if he saw me doing this. Like, come on, Woody.
And then you get the awkward of Natalie Portman just like smiling, trying to grab a CGI bit of fruit in the air and eats it. Like,
and don't forget about animals surfing Anakin as well, as he's surfing on these creatures or whatever. That
yeah.
Keep going. Sorry, I jumped ahead.
They talk about the politics and stuff like that.
Yeah, aggressive negotiations.
Yes. Gotta love that. While Obi-Wan's, he's carrying the whole film as it stands, because like Obi-Wan wasn't really much in the previous one. He was sort of like there, but he didn't do much until he had to fight more. If I'm honest with Obi-Wan, this, like, he does a lot. He go to Geonosis, where they have the spaceship battle. Seismic charges. Oh, gotta love that sound.
Oh my gosh, that's one of the best sounds in all of the universe for Star Wars.
Oh, absolutely! It's an amazing sound. We see like the plethora of the arsenal that Jango Fett has. Goes to Geonosis.
What are your thoughts on Geonosis?
I think Geonosis is. I think it's cool. I think there's. I think it's a nice contrast to Camino, because when you get like Camino's like the planet where they're making all the clones.
Yep.
And then we've got Geonosis, which is the planet where they're making all the droids.
All right.
And it's a very big contrast. We've got like I think there are certain aspects that I'm not a fan of, but I think the design for most of it is really cool. And but then we get like the talks with Christopher Lee, and just knowing that it takes an hour and 15 minutes for Christopher Lee to do the film.
Yeah, which is sad because he's freaking amazing.
Yeah, he is. And then he,
Here's a question. At this point, Christopher Lee is still considered a Jedi Master.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Isn't that what Obi-Wan said, that he's a Jedi Master? You can trust him, or not Obi-Wan or someone else that he's a Jedi Master. Mace Windu. So why isn't Count Dooku on the council? I think that would have been brilliant.
Yeah, I think that would have been cool. I think the thing is with that is like because Qui-Gon Jinn was Count Dooku's Padawan, and Christopher Count Dooku was never like on board with a lot of stuff with the Jedi, so he was like already sort of like gonna leave, and then Qui-Gon's death pushed him over the edge, which made him to leave the Jedi Order. And in a deleted scene of Attack of the Clones, we get like Jocasta Nu telling Obi-Wan like about Count Dooku and why he left, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so it's like you sort of, the thing that they have in common is that they talked about Qui-Gon Jinn. I thought that was interesting, and you find like later that Yoda was the master of Count Dooku as well.
Right.
But yeah, like Mace Windu was saying, like, well, he was a Jedi. It's not in his nature to kill people. And it's like, oh well, he's just killing people.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought that was funny. And then we see kind of like the manipulation of Dooku, where he shows up, says, "Oh my God, you've been captured. It's a terrible mistake. I will try and sign your release."
Yeah.
And then he spiels the whole plot of Palpatine, saying, "Look, he's in charge." Like, yeah, like he literally spills the whole plot in front of Obi-Wan.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Obi-Wan's like, "Well, yeah, I'm not going to join you." And it's like, "Well, yeah, might be hard to get your release now. See you later."
Yeah, you're done.
And then we cut back to Anakin and Padme, and they've gone to Tatooine to find his Shmi.
It's Shmi. So hold on, let's just jump ahead a little more. So he meets up with Watto, and he learns that his mother's been bought by a dude named Lars.
Yes.
And so I watched it today again, and I was like, Lars is a creep. The dude goes to buy a woman. What did he buy a woman for?
Well, the thing is, like, she was a slave anyway, so I guess, like, in a way, and I get that.
I don't think Watto was laying his bug nuts into Shmi, right?
No, but like I guess on the implication, like, because it's I sort of looked at it again and I thought, oh, this the Lars, like, dad, he's not that bad, because it's like, yeah, like maybe he tried to buy her freedom, and then things just went along, but it's like she was on like a standard sort of run of the mill trip, and then the Tuscans attacked. Like, that was his story, and then she got taken away. And he sent like 30 guys to go and find her, and that's no mean feat. Like 30 guys to go and look for her, and only 4 came back.
Lars is a pimp. That's it. Lars is a pimp.
I mean, it's kind of, yeah. I mean, also, like, there's definitely a gray line to it.
Look where they lived in Tatooine. You can't really go too far without Tuscans being an issue. We learned that in was it the Book of Boba Fett as well?
Oh, or yeah, it'll be the Book of Boba Fett.
And so, why was Shmi out doing her alone walk, her alone travel?
Well, it seemed like, I mean, it seems like it wasn't a problem initially, but it was like a routine for her that she did that. I don't know. And then she got pounced. Like,
Lars the pimp.
I guess there's, maybe there's not a whole lot of validity to what he said, but I guess we can only take him by his word.
I'll tell you, I bet you Owen bought Baru. Uncle Owen buying up Baru. I'm calling it right now. Lars and Owen, they're both pimps, and they're buying women slaves to knock boots with them. I'm just throwing that out there.
But I guess them, because you've seen the Kenobi show, right?
I did. Yeah.
And it's like the I guess like stuff like this gives them reason to in the Kenobi show to show that like Owen and Baru are like armed with weapons and stuff. That we saw, even though it was stupid how they were able to take on an Inquisitor. But
To each their own, I guess.
A whole other story.
Yeah, that's a different thing. All right, jump ahead here. Jump ahead.
And then we got Anakin. He's going off to find his mother on the speeder, and I'm not really sure how I feel about Duel of the Fates playing. It's an awesome soundtrack. I just think it's an odd place to put it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like a dueling the fates of, well, if he finds her alive and well, then the Tuscans get to live, and it's their fate. And also like Anakin doesn't have to go further down the path.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's his fate as well. Maybe
that's what I was possibly thinking. So then, I thought when his mom dies, it triggers him, and I love that turn. When it's finally like that is the main reason he's going to turn to the dark. Like that is his main trigger right there. Couldn't save his mommy, so he's got to do anything to save his love of his life. But I thought that moment there, I loved that part of the Attack of the Clones. Not the fact that he killed baby Tuscans, but they're ugly sin anyway, so it didn't really matter. But I thought that part was brilliant.
And then and then once he slaughters it, it switches over to like Yoda sensing it, and you hear and it had the subtitles on as well, and it had Qui-Gon Jinn echoing like "No, Anakin, no," that kind of stuff. So I thought that was cool, because it sort of like hints at that a little bit more, and that he's still around to an extent, and then. So then we got like Yoda and Mace who are just sitting on their butts, not doing anything until it's like, well, Jar Jar's gonna put emergency powers into Palpatine. That's amazing.
Good old Jar Jar.
Yeah, ruining the stuff. And then Yoda says, okay, so I'll head off to Camino, see what the army's like. And Mace is going to go to Geonosis with like a bunch of Jedi. And I think that's kind of cool. I kind of would have wanted to see Yoda's reaction to the army, to the clone army when he shows up. But I guess they wanted to save that for like a bit of a surprise later on.
Yeah. Also, the dude, I forgot to mention this, the dude that played Jar Jar, his real life appearance was in the bar, which I thought was kind of cool. They actually you didn't see that?
I think I heard it once, but honestly,
watch it again. You'll see him right plain as day. He turns around and looks. I'm like, hey, that's Jar Jar. All right, keep going.
Okay. Then we get like Anakin and Padme. They head off to Geonosis in the factory battle, which I think you've mentioned before that you don't like that.
For which one?
The factory sort of fights.
Yeah, it was all right, I guess. It was nothing too fancy.
Yeah. It's all right. Like I think the C-3PO stuff could have stayed out of it. Like I kind of like how meta it's sort of he is. Where it's like he just says he's so confused, his head's being dragged along the thing, and it's like, oh, this is such a drag. R2 stops by his body and like with the head and the separate, and it's like, oh, I'm beside myself.
C-3PO's greatest line out of all his movies is when he's saying, "Die, Jedi scum," and he's I thought that was so friggin' funny.
Yeah, just getting Anthony Daniels to do that. That's great.
Yeah.
But then we head off to the Geonosian Arena, and I think the monsters there, I think they're really cool designs.
Really? I didn't like that. I thought that was...
You didn't?
I wasn't a big fan of the monster battles.
Okay. I thought it was kind of funny. We get snarky Obi-Wan saying, what about Padme? Oh, she seems to be on top of things. And it's like...
Just gratuitous jokes, I guess, or puns.
Yeah, and everyone blames Marvel.
Yeah.
And then we get Mace Windu and the other Jedi showing up. That was cool.
That was cool.
And seeing just that general battle, I thought was cool. Just like slicing down on the Jedi. Yeah, it's funny seeing like the extras in the background just doing whatever, and it's like I quite like that. and then they just seem to be outnumbered. Then Yoda shows up with the clothes.
Yep, that was cool.
Like that. Yeah,
It was awesome to see all those
cool.
Jedis together fighting in that arena. I think that was the first time ever. It's kind of what we all wanted to see, was like a slew of Jedis fighting together, and it was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Like just seeing how each of them like fight differently, and apparently I heard that that the Jedi that survived like the fight, because you did see Jedi die. The only ones that survived were like either Masters, Masters Knight, and there were only 2 Padawans that survived, and that was Anakin and Barriss Offee. And Barriss was in the Clone Wars show as well.
Yep, Barriss Offee.
Yeah, and so we get the clone showing up. They, I think the clone. I think like the clone. I think the ships and the designs of those, they're awesome as well. They don't cease to let up on those kinds of really cool designs.
I didn't like the enemy bug droid battleship sort of mechanics. I didn't enjoy that.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But I like the clone stuff. I just didn't like the whole bug cannons and whatever, and tanks.
Sure.
It's fine. All right, jump ahead to the epicness at the end.
Yeah. So that fight happens. They try to get Dooku out of rockets, and then they make it to Padme falls off the ship, and Anakin has a strop. But it's
that part's annoying too. He's like puberty's kicking in. He's like, Padme, I need to save Padme. Anakin, such a feelings. What would Padme do? Oh, you're right. Let's go get Dooku.
Yeah, and then like the hormones kick in again. It's like, oh, I'm taking him now. I'd like taking Dooku now. And it's like, so that was funny. But we just see like Dooku absolutely slap Obi-Wan in the face. And Anakin for that matter. I think it was cool that with the lightsaber, like each one had a different approach to the lightsaber fight.
Yep.
Where Anakin used both lightsabers, and then
that was cool.
The lighting sort of went down, and it was just the blue and the red.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then we get Grandmaster Yoda showing up.
So I'm going to interrupt you. Because back when this came out, I forget the year. I don't even think you were born yet.
2002.
2002. So you were born, but you knew nothing about Star Wars. When Yoda first came out, the epicness of that scene, when he comes hobbling, we all knew what was going to happen. And then he opens up, brings out his little baby Yoda lightsaber. That hit the world of Star Wars fandom and just people who were familiar with Star Wars incredibly hard. It was impressive. We all went crazy for that. I just want to establish that. We all went crazy for that one scene. So keep going.
I think in general, though, the lightsaber duel, like with all of them, was a step down from the previous film.
Duel of the Fates. There's only one other lightsaber battle that could rival that, if not beat it. Attack of the Clones was not it.
Yeah, I think there's only so many cuts they could have done with Christopher Lee's stunt double and one. But I thought the fight was cool. Like with Yoda and Dooku, with just Yoda screaming and doing flips all the time.
Yep.
And then Dooku's like, all right, I'm gonna head out of here. And he drops the pillar onto Anakin and Obi-Wan. Yoda stops it, and you get the Yoda theme.
Yep.
And I quite like it's a testament to John Williams' ability for stuff that I really like. And then he escapes with the Death Star plans to Sidious on Coruscant, saying everything's going as planned. Yoda, Obi-Wan, Mace, and Yoda talk in the Jedi Council. Obi-Wan's like, well, without the clones, it surely wouldn't have been a victory. And Yoda's like, well, it wasn't a victory, mate. It's the Clone Wars are happening now, and then you get the Imperial March theme with all the clones and Palpatine looking over. So it's
Which
like
was cool.
So it's like once again Palpatine has won.
Yeah.
Even though like our main characters have survived.
Oh, it's so good. That there's a couple scenes that are so good. That part was awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
And just like the last scene is the Anakin and Padme marriage.
Yes. Yeah. With his robotic hand and stuff. That's kind of throwback to Luke's robotic hand too, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. What would you give this out of 10?
There were parts that I just enjoyed and parts that I enjoyed because they were so bad. Because I just found them funny. I don't know, 6 out of 10.
All right, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. Sure. There's like, after seeing it today, I was just like, this is some terrible deliveries, some very bad interactions, but there was some really good stuff in it too. But
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Better than the Rise of Skywalker.
Better than the Last Jedi. You're right. Yeah, better than the Last Jedi. The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi. Way better than the Last Jedi.
Rise of Skywalker.
Listen, when we get to Rise of the Skywalker, you're going to hear some mind-blowing, amazing stuff.
No. It's not Rise of the Skywalker.
Doesn't matter. I'm calling it Rise of the Skywalker because that's what it should have been.
Well, you're saying it wrong.
No, I'm not saying it wrong. It's just the way it is. The Last Jedi is a 2 out of 10 according to Maestro. Lee, you're going to have a rough time when we get to The Last Jedi.
Well, we've got to do Rogue One before that.
Yes. Rogue One is brilliant.
Okay.
It's brilliant. I cannot wait for Rogue One because I just want to watch it again. It is that good. All right.
Okay.
Anything else? Everybody in the chat, thank you all for hanging out. What would you guys give Attack of the Clones out of 10 if you had to? I'm interested. Thank you so much, 69mega.com, for the UGG Tinder, Our Girls Write First. All right. Just as a heads up, 69mega.com, I've not had one of your girls message me first, so kind of disappointed, and I think you guys are liars. So we're just going to go from there. Cool. 6 out of 10, being positive, Meister says. All right. Meister, thank you so much. Mark, thank you so much. Guys were interactive during the chats on here. Nick Kelly, thank you. Thank you.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that was awesome. Next week, or not next week, 2 weeks, we'll see what we know we have.
We've got a bunch of shows.
Got some shows. We've got Rings of Power, House of Dragons. So we'll watch that. What else? Was there any other show that we were going to dive into or no?
Though it was still She-Hulk.
Right, She-Hulk. That's right.
And I think that's pretty much it for now.
And then the movie is still up in the air. We could plan on Revenge of the Sith, possibly.
Yeah. Possibly. That can be something to fall back on if we can't think of anything. But But you've been saying that you wanted to watch like the Pirates films again.
I do want to watch them again.
So if you want to do those, then that's
we'll see.
Up to you.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. News. Hold on. What do you mean, Meister? News? Maybe. What do you mean? All right, go ahead.
No. I was just thinking because you haven't seen all of them, have you?
I have not. No, I've seen the first 2 for sure.
Right.
First 2 for sure. And
but yeah, I think it'll be whether you do it on here or not, I think you should give them a watch.
Yep. Excellent.
But particularly with you playing so much of Sea of Thieves.
Oh, Maestra, we have at the very beginning, you can see on the top left-hand corner, we did movie news. So we always start with movie news, and then I covered horror stuff. Then we do upcoming movies. We'll cover celebrity deaths if there's any significant ones. And then we just go through our shows and movies. What about the Ewok movies? You know what? As a kid, I didn't mind the Ewok movies. I'm just saying. They weren't great, but I just didn't mind it. And so, guys, if there's any other things, let me know on Discord. Send Lee and I a message, whatever, on Twitter. You can find us all on our socials. Discord seems to be the best place to reach us for the most part, even though I do answer everything else. But for Lee, Discord is probably the best place to reach him. So, guys, thank you all so much. Lee, anything else? Is this it?
I'm pretty much it. I think to add, if we're gonna talk about the celebrity deaths, Chadwick Boseman, it's a 2-year anniversary today of his death.
Wow, today I didn't know that.
Yeah,
2 years.
And Robert Shaw as well, who was Quinn in Jaws. It's the anniversary of his death as well.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what I got mainly.
Excellent.
For that. And it's Jack Black's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Jack Black. All right,
He's
maybe
52.
52? He's only 6 years older than me? Wow. And so much cooler than me. I love Jack Black. I think he's amazing. All right, cool. Lee, this is it, eh?
Yeah.
All you guys, wonderful people, thank you for joining us. You're absolutely amazing. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Enjoy your Sunday, and then we'll hopefully see us tomorrow for some Sea of Thieves or whatever else I decide to play. So here we go. So as for Lee, 20 years older than me. Thank you, Meister. As for Lee, my name is Paul, and you guys take care. Excellent. All right, let's see. Oh, it's a good day.
We ran quite long today.
Oh, no, I expect this. Like, the last one was almost 2 hours, if not 2 hours. So I fully suspect the movie and TV show ones to go like 2 hours.
But that's good. You know?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Like, we're not struggling on things to talk about.
Nope, not at all.
Stuff.
Oh my gosh, that's the thing with the movie TV show stuff. There's so much to talk about.